I'd like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Hello. Cowboy Nation, man. Cowboy Nation. I'm Coach Marv is trying to get in here again before my other content creators get in because we try to follow each other, try to stagger so we can try to follow everybody. But I came in today, man, with something that's hard for me to talk about. Um, as a lot of the content creators that I work with, they always say Coach Marv always try to get his words out there, and he's gonna do whatever he can. He's gonna spread. He's gonna go to every show, everybody's show to try to get his words in the building. He's gonna try to make sure that everybody gets the word gets out because he wants the best for our team, and sometimes he wants what is not being talked about to be talked about in the surface and bring it to light, and maybe it may shine a light on certain things, and all for the positive. All for the positive. If people have followed me, they know Dak Prescott is my guy. There is very few times that I have had anything bad to say about Dak because I think Dak has done a great job of handling so much pressure and so much stuff that really no other quarterback has to handle. But I say what this show is about today. I want to make sure that what is all the stuff that Dak has been through, all the criticism, all the scrutiny he's been in, that he understands it's about winning, and he doesn't have to prove the naysayers wrong in crazy expectations of him. Only thing he has to do is the Cowboys have to win. If it's his play, he makes the play, somebody else makes the play. Only thing he has to do is win. And he cannot get caught up in trying to live up or to prove someone else's expectations. That's the worst thing you can do in life. You have to be able to do what you do and not try to validate somebody else's expectations or try to prove people wrong. Because then you're chasing the carrot because they'll always move the goalposts. So I'm talking today about what is Dak Prescott role in the direction of this offense and the run game. Very interesting. The reason I came out here, I had another show lined up. I had something I was going to go into that I have been talking about the state of the NFL and the football and the state of the Cowboys thinking and how that show is going to come out because it's I still got plenty of time for that show to come out. But right now, I got asked the question about from a very good friend of mine that's been a guy that's coached with me, a guy that's a big time Cowboy fan himself, big time football guy. But he asked me a question today that I had to come on here and talk about it because I feel where he was coming from. He said, man, coach, coach, let me ask you a question. He said, I like Schottenheimer. But he said, man, what is Dak role in this offense? Do you think Dak has a big say so in this offense? And I said, yeah, I think Dak got a big say so in this offense. He said, if you really believe Dak got a big say so in this offense, I said, yeah, man, I think Dak is probably one of the most important people that's got to say so in this offense. What's up, D Block? He said, man, so I keep hearing people talk about, he said, I keep hearing people talk about, and he said, me and you have talked about, the commitment to having a physical presence in this offense, about making the game easier for him, Dak Prescott. So do you think Dak believes in the run game? Mm. And he brought up some interesting stuff, man. And this is not no, I know, I've got people out there that's with me about how great Dak is. And I know that there's a lot of haters out there waiting on people to say something bad about Dak Prescott so they can jump on board. But one thing about me, Coach Marv, what I'm going to be is I'm going to give it straight without no Novocaine. And I'm not here to, I understand it's the totality of things, but he asked me that question. He said, does Dak believe in the run game? And then he said, has Dak been programmed not to feel that the run game is vital to the success of this offense? And he said, yeah, man, we hear Dak say some things about, yeah, we need to run the game, but has he really stressed it to say, hey, we got to be able to run the ball better to win a game? And we go into a game, we don't run the ball. Has he ever stressed it like, we got to be better? He said he have seen Tom Brady stress it. I reminded him of when we were watching the live screen when Aaron Rodgers, we played the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, and he came and cussed his coach out on the sideline and told him to run the damn ball. And he said, man, coach, he said, you got on this on your show and you talked about the defense and stopping the run game. And yes, you was right. He validated what I was saying. He said, man, the most thing about stopping the run is the Cowboys defense bought in and committed to stopping the run. Or are they just looking for other people to do it? But if it's 11 guys dedicated to stop the run, and he said, right. He said, come in with me and him, coach. He's like, we done seen guys in their eyes, they could talk about, yeah, I'm going to fit this gap, but they really ain't dedicated to do it. They're waiting on somebody else. And we understand, we always talk about it. You got to be dedicated to what you do for it to work as a unit. But he said, isn't it, could that be the same thing with the offense? That is not a total commitment by the team, and it may not be a total commitment by your quarterback to run the football. And I had to think about that. And he said, this is not no. When he asked that question, he said, this ain't, because he feels the same way about Dak. He said, this is not no uh diss to Dak Prescott. But he did say this. He did say, and I say this. When your quarterback is around your offensive coordinator more than he probably during a season, more than he probably with his wife. He's had endless meetings with the offensive coordinator and the heads of the offense, the quarterback. Endless meetings, endless film sessions along with them. Even in all season, when they putting stuff in, it's endless meetings from your quarterback and your offensive head staff. So there is no way that if a quarterback is around a person like that and they're listening to their philosophies, that they don't pick up the instincts and starts to believe in the philosophies of those coordinators. Especially if you're around a guy for 5 or 6 years. And then you leave Kellen Moore, and then you go into Mike McCarthy, which I think Mike McCarthy had a lot to do with offense. And you're around two guys. Yeah, when people want to say, well, Schottenheimer was, man, the guys who put the offense together, whoever offense it was, that's who philosophy you get. So when it comes to an audible, when you can audible out of a run play for us to keep our physical presence, and you see a certain thing, you say, well, we're going to go past. Sometimes you gravitate to what you feel is important. And sometimes those runs, you could have stuck with them, and they could have did two things. They could have set a physical presence, and they could have got you a better play next time because the run was successful. But sometimes you get bogged down and this around people that you pick up their tendencies and you almost become like them. If Schottenheimer is about the run game, the first person he got to convince is not the Joneses. The first person he got to convince that this is for the betterment of his team and it's going to make his quarterback even better, he got to convince Dak first. Because if he don't convince Dak that this is important and vital for his success and to get to the next level and not to worry about if people say, man, well, you ain't no one quarterback. You need a run game. Man, he can't throw the he can't throw in the pressure. He needs a total offense. Let's take a case in point. Tom Brady didn't care about if you said Tom Brady threw the ball for 400 yards or threw it for 200. He cared about those Super Bowl rings. Patrick Mahomes, in his first year, he was throwing for 7,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. He ain't had another year like that since then. His numbers have gone down in the last couple of years. Do he care about it? Do he talk about, man, I need to get my numbers up? Do he even mention about his numbers? He understands it's going to be magnified. Jalen Hurts. This will make Jalen Hurts so good. Jalen Hurts don't give a damn about what people say about him being a pocket passer, a guy that can lead a team, or the best passer in the world. He don't care. He'll have playoff games. We had 117 yards passing. He don't care. He cares about winning games. Yes, sir. This Coach Marv, man. Coach Marv Real Talk, man. Thank you for coming in. Listen in. Check me out. Share it. Go to my YouTube page channel, Coach Marv Real Talk. Check out my other videos. Go to my videos and check out my videos, man, and on all the other topics. But we was talking today about Dak's role in this offense and the run game. And I'm just saying, Jalen Hurts don't care. He don't care. He allow people to talk what they want to say. He don't care if the receivers talk all kind of crazy. He don't care. The end goal is to win. And it's this Dak's fault, and I'm not saying this is Dak's fault. He has been programmed with all the messes he's gone through, all the scrutinization of every pass he throws, every game that's lost, every contract he sits, everything he does, anytime somebody don't sign, is because Dak Prescott, what he making, that he almost feel like, man, it's got to be on me. I like what Schottenheimer did when he said, when they were talking about does Dak set the culture, and he made people to back up off that and say, hey, man, Dak don't set the culture by itself. That's the first time I've heard one of these coaches and somebody in this organization say, hey, man, it ain't all on Dak. It's for more of us to do, to set this culture. And guess what? We are setting Dak up for failure because we ourselves, it's about Dak. And if it's about Dak, just take yourself an instance. You've been trying to prove all naysayers, everything you got, somebody, your own fan base talk about you shouldn't have it. You put out numbers, you have done all you could do. And they always talking about you. Don't you think you have a level of something saying, I'm going to prove them wrong? And when it comes down to it, you're going to try to do it yourself and not say, hey, I'm going to let somebody else be the one? We talk about this run game. Could Dak say, I want Chubb? He making $60 million. You don't think Dak could say, hey, man, hey, listen, man, I want Nick Chubb. But if he speak out and say he want a wide receiver, he's still taking the burden on himself. And my friend was right. He said, what is Dak's responsibility of trusting and committing to this run game? Because he the man behind the center. He the man that can audible out of run plays to passes. He's the man that can audible out of passes to runs. He's the man that can tell, listen, I have played offensive line, and our quarterback has been the leader of how our mentality goes. And if he knew our offensive line wanted to get down and dirty, he allowed us to do our work. Because he knows we needed us right. He knows he needed us comfortable. When I coach my quarterback to listen and to understand what makes your team rock. That's your job as a leader. You got to know what makes your team rock. You got to know what CeeDee Lamb, what makes CeeDee Lamb rock, what type of catches he needs, what's going to get him in his groove. You got to know what's your running back's going to do to get in the green. You got to know what keeps you on schedule. And you got to give it to them. Because if you give it to them, they're going to be better for you. But the job of Schottenheimer is to get Dak to understand that you don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to win every football game by yourself. Let the defense win some games. Let the running game win some games. Pick your shots. Make big plays, not every play. But that's Schottenheimer's biggest job. He got to prove to Dak and to get Dak to understand that it don't take 5,000 yards, Dak. You don't have to be MVP for us to win the Super Bowl. You don't have to prove to nobody how good you are. No, it doesn't show how good you are. Your stats that you got, and you make $60 damn million a year. And when somebody talk about how good you are, you tell them, say, tell me another quarterback making 60. They wouldn't have paid me if they didn't think I was good. And I don't have to prove to nobody. If we run the ball 45 times and win the game and I throw the ball for 200 yards, guess what? At the end of the day, if we get to a Super Bowl, guess who they're going to give the credit to? To Dak Prescott. And you're going to have some people going to say, oh, he wouldn't have won a Super Bowl if he didn't have to run the game. Guess what Jalen Hurts say when people say that? Okay. Oh, well. What size is my ring? What is his role in this thing? I cannot believe that they would take a guy that's getting paid this much, and if he said, hey, man, I want the best running back out there. I bet you Lamar Jackson asked for Derrick Henry. And guess what? Having Derrick Henry didn't take no shine off Lamar Jackson. Matter of fact, it made Lamar Jackson's job easier. That's Schottenheimer's biggest cultural set, because that's a cultural thing to change the mentality of saying we're doing it in a physical manner and it's not all on you. When he kept telling, when he said it's about team, it's about all the team. Remember he said that? He said, I'm getting this and it's about us. The main person he got to get in that room and say, Dak, it ain't on you. I'm going to take some of the load off you. And he could get all upset if he want to. But early on in the season, damn it, don't audible out the run. Well, coach, don't do that. I'm trying to do something to get this team to another point. Trust me. I know what you done been under Kellen Moore. When it came down to pass and run, Kellen would say, put that in the air. McCarthy would say, hey, put that so-and-so in the air. If it ever came down to a discussion. But you got a guy now who say, listen, There's a reason why we do this to set up a play. And if you do the run here and it's successful, the next pass play is going to be a bigger pass play. It's not going to listen. In boxing, guys don't keep throwing the jack or throwing the hook, just throwing it. They have to throw the jab and then they set up the hook. They keep throwing the hook off first and they be like, well, why you keep throwing the hook first? Set it up, because when you do throw it, it's going to be wide open and it's going to be a knockout blow. But we got to prove to DAK, we got to make our quarterback know that he needs this help. And you know, the worst thing to know in the world when people say that they need help, everybody say when somebody's, we got this ego thing. When we say we need help, some people say, oh, well, you ain't capable. No. This is football, the greatest team sport in sports history. There has never been a guy to win a Super Bowl by himself. And the biggest thing, that the threat can kill a football team is when people think individually, I could do it by myself. Because if you get 5 or 6 people on any unit that say I'm individually going to do it by myself, the unit is going to fail. There's no offensive team and a defensive team. There's no defensive mentality and offensive mentality. Your offensive line set the mentality. So if you have a weak offensive line that goes out and finesse because your offensive coordinator and your quarterback wants to play a finesse game, your defense is going to be a finesse defense. Y'all can try this out. Y'all can go and give examples. I've been in this game too long and have seen it over and over again. And I have never seen an offensive line that's considered a offensive line that's considered a monster man-eating offensive line, and they put the ball up in the air at will. And I'm not saying we need to be ground and pound, but I am saying that DAK got to believe in this. A commitment. A commitment is, I am dedicated to do this. I am dedicated to the point that I'm going to make it successful. You know what Coach Marv is dedicated to? And I know my weight tells you, I'm dedicated to eating hamburgers. I'm committed to eating hamburgers. I love hamburger, man. If I can find me a place, if I come to y'all town, I come to Dallas or wherever, if y'all Coach Marv come in one of y'all towns is only in this chat, and y'all know Coach Marv in town, you define him the best hamburger spot. I'm committed to, and I don't care if the hamburger if the hamburger not no good, I may say, no, I don't like the hamburger, but I go find another spot. You could give me 4 or 5 different places that got bad hamburgers, and I'm like, man, that hamburger's all that, but I don't stop. I'm still gonna be looking to find that other spot that got that great hamburger. I'm committed to finding it. Now, if I wasn't committed to find the hamburger, soon as I get one bad hamburger, guess what I would do? You will never see me eat a hamburger again. That's how I feel we are with the run game. Soon as we run the ball a couple times to get 1 yard, to get 2 yards, I can see it in our mentality, and I'm not bashing it, but this is the truth. Coach Marv gonna give you. I can see it in our quarterback that we're gonna go put in the air. I can get the yards in the air. And you know how tough this job is for Schottenheimer? I heard, I was watching Boss and Lou the other day, and they were talking about they brought up a very interesting point. They say, man, how does Schottenheimer going to tell the front office that we're going to be dedicated to the run game and then we're going to say, oh, well, we ain't got no running backs. And we got George Pickens. How we going to get people? They already, every catch that George Pickens doing it, they already, listen, our media at 103, that's why I'm going to tell you something else. I hate to jump on this, but this is very important. I don't even listen to all those reports about who did well in OTAs. You said, well, coach, wait a minute, hold it. How we both know? Because it's already, that narrative is already cooked to who they want to be successful. They already got an agenda about who they want to be successful. So they're going to look at a guy, and every catch he got, you could have another guy make 1 or 2 catches because he only got the ball thrown to him one time. And he made 1 catch. They don't talk about him because they don't want to talk about it. They just make a narrative for a guy. And they boost it up so it makes it look really good. I'm not saying George Pickens ain't put on the show, but they already boosted the narrative of George Pickens because they're trying to make a competition between him and CeeDee Lamb. And if you make him look like a number 1 wide receiver, then there's no choice that you got to throw the ball 100 times. They already put the competition between the number 3 wide receiver, Tober and what? Who cares about a number 3 wide receiver? Listen here, teams in this league don't even talk about their 3rd damn wide receiver because he only gonna get 25 catches, 30 catches at the most. Now you got 2 great number 1 and 2s and a good tight end. There ain't enough balls to get him 50 or 60 catches. But you see what the media trying to do? Stories about if Dak gonna have a great year. They already talking about, listen here, when you talk about receivers, that's an inadvertently way of putting the pressure on Dak Prescott. Y'all don't see that? Because who got to throw in the ball? Who got to forget about the run game to throw the ball enough to feed these guys that you hyping up? And all of a sudden it turns back on to who? Dak Prescott. Everything turns back onto Dak. And then when we try to, when we try to go out here and defend Dak, there's no way to defend him because they already put the load on him. And he's trying to carry a load that no other quarterback can do. So Schottenheimer's biggest job is not to convince the damn Joneses. He got to reprogram his quarterback who's been under this type of brainwash for 8 years or 6, 7 years. You know how I know it's a brainwash game? And y'all gonna finna get mad at me, but you know how I know it's a brainwash game? In the chat, if anybody's still in the chat, tell me who is Dak Prescott's best friend on the field? Who is his best friend on the team? If somebody in the chat says Ezekiel Elliott, you are exactly right. Ezekiel Elliott was his best friend. And you mean to tell me Ezekiel is your best friend and you don't hand the ball off to him? You ain't got the power to get him the football? law nations come up and said people are convinced. And somebody can say whether people are convinced. They're only convinced because they have like mind and have that feeling already, right? They're convinced that. Listen, man, I am not ripping Dak. I love Dak. I think Dak can win multiple Super Bowls. But Dak has to take the heat. He has to have a coaching staff that tells him, say, hey, man, we're going to make you productive, not a load carrier. And Dak has to be smart enough to say, man, listen here. Why me try to do it all myself? And we could do this thing together. I can utilize a good run game. I can utilize a more consistent physical run game and play action and get bigger plays. Hey, man. And then Dak can convince his receivers that, hey, man, it's about winning. Jalen Hurts convinced Brown and Devontae Adams about, listen, man, I know y'all want bigger numbers, but bigger numbers don't get us Super Bowls. He already convinced them that now they're not even looking for big numbers no more. They're looking for W's. Because they know the big plays going to come, but they ain't got to eat all day. They're looking for W's. Because they had bigger numbers and at home. And when I say commitment to the run game, I am not talking about being a run-first team. But I am saying if that's what you're going to do to win the game, and if you could pound somebody for 250 yards, 3 or 4 games, and don't even have to put the ball up as much, damn it, I want a team that's excited about that. I want a fan base that's excited about that. But you know what I get from my fan base sometimes? We get out that game, we won by 10 points. If we win by 10 points, that's a big victory. We ran for 200 yards. Dak only threw the ball for 150. They probably missed some passes. Some of the players didn't get no catches. And know what we'll be saying? We need to get another wide receiver. And we'll use the excuse that, well, you ain't going to be able to do that against tougher teams. You ain't going to be able to do one-dimensional against tougher teams. And I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. But I can call a spade a spade. Jalen Hurts don't give a good, y'all know what y'all say, or what the media say, or what the other people say about what his game has to do, and he's elite. He said, I got my money and I got Super Bowl rings. Y'all can talk all y'all want. Dak got his money. He should put 2 things in the ear and say, hey, we're going to run it. If I need to hand this ball off and Williams or Blue or whoever is running back out here, they can get 100 yards. If I don't throw a touchdown, listen here, Tom Brady don't even throw the ball. Tom Brady, look at his career. When Tom Brady get inside the 5 or 10 yard or 8 to 10 yard line, 90% of the time he run the football. He don't throw the ball. He throw the ball outside the 10. But when he gets inside 10, he turns over to his offensive line and say, man, it's harder for me to throw the ball down here. Let's line up and get in the end zone. So I don't want to get, I know my other content creators about come on, man, and talk, man. I saw Landlord in the building, a big time show, but I saw Landlord in the building. That's my man, because Roll Tide. I'm a Roll Tide guy too. But if you get away from physical play, he can tell you, if Landlord's an Alabama man, you get away from physical play. I don't care if you can throw the ball, you can throw the ball, but you still got to have a physical presence. You get away from that, especially in the pros, you ain't got enough good receivers. Guys play defensive back, they just as good as athletes. And if they get you one-dimensional, they're going to, listen here, the coverages are going to limit you. If you get one-dimensional and it's not, you don't have a threat. You know, in some ways it was one-dimensional. If we don't believe you to believe in the run, that's how it is. San Francisco said, when the San Francisco linebacker talked about us running the ball, you know what he was saying? He was talking about the Cowboys didn't believe in running the football. They ain't going to run the football. The word out on the street, go back watching my video about culture and about how culture. If y'all want to go back to one of my first videos, go in my playlist, go and look at my video about culture and see what the narrative, I believe the narrative about our team was last year based off the building blocks of the culture. The team thought we were soft. They would probably say, hey, man, just stop their first run games early, and they'll get away from it. Give them some resistance, and they'll go away from it. And on our defense, keep running the ball at them, and eventually they'll give us a big play because they'll be undisciplined to stay in their lanes, and we'll get a big play. And then they'll drop their head, and then we'll be able to do whatever the hell we want to do with them. Ain't that how the game went? That's why my thing will be mental toughness. That's my 5 things. So, again, man, Schottenheimer's biggest convincing point is not the Joneses. He got to convince his leader, his offensive leader, that we got to get not just a little bit better in the run game. We got to be very good in the run game. And then everything in the passing game, the big plays will be there. I want this passing game not to throw no jabs. I ain't looking for us to throw very few. If we throw check downs, I want to throw them to the running back. But I want Tolbert, the third wide receiver. I want Pickens. I want to see Lamb. Everything they catch is 14, 15 yards down the field. If it's an in cut, 14, 15 yards. I don't want to throw no jabs. I want to pass with a purpose and run to control. I've said this 1,000 times. You control the game with the run game. You score in the passing game. That don't mean you can do both. You can't control the game with the passing game and then try to score. That's what setup punches is in boxing. Jab, 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 right cross, knockout. They don't see no boxer go out there and keep throwing right leads. Keep throwing right leads. Keep throwing right leads. Don't set the punch up. Do you think you really gonna get that punch in? That's all you're throwing? Football ain't complicated. I hear people talking about, let's set the run up with the pass. Man, you ain't never setting up physical, set up stuff with nets, and then try to come back to a physical play. If a guy gets dominance on you early, you can't catch it back up later on and talking about, I'm going to start not moving him out the way. He got too much momentum now. They tell you with any pass rusher, I'm going to teach you this point. Any great pass rusher, you stop them early. If you got to double team them, you got to throw the ball quick. You got to run the ball at them. You stop them early, and you probably control them all game long. If you let them get off early in the game, they're going to give you hell all game long. Think about our pass rusher. Think about other ones. And then I want you to add that philosophy to when you watch football this year. If you let a pass rusher get off early, you got a problem all game. A run game may not get off early. It's like a slow Novocaine. 2-yard carry, 3-yard carries. Eventually, if you're consistent with it, and your line is dedicated and they believe in it, out of while, second quarter, third quarter, those 2-3 yard carries turn into 7, 8, 9. Eventually, sometimes the team just give up and bam, 50. Ask Saquon Barkley. They get big runs because they're committed to running and they believe in it from the quarterback down. That's why they block down the field so he can get 60-yard runs, because they believe in it. That's Schottenheimer's job, to get our defense to believe in stopping the run and want to do it, and getting our leadership on our offensive line and on our offense to believe in the running game. Schottenheimer's biggest job is getting the leader of the defense, which is Michael Parsons, to say, I'm going to lead the charge in stopping the run. I mean, I can stop it all over the field if I probably could if I was playing in the middle of the field. I mean, I could stop it all over the field, but I'm going to be the best damn defensive end run stopper in the NFL. And I'm going to lead the charge for my rest of my defensive end, my defensive lineman, to stop the run by leading from the front. Check out my video about Michael Parsons leading from the front. New role, new expectations. What do we need and how to dominate from the front? Check that video out. Not the short one. There's a long one. The short one, the video went out, but it's a long one, about an hour long. Check that one out. And it talks about him stopping the run game. And you got to get your quarterback to buy in and to be committed to the run game to make the game easier for him and this team. Please, people, share this on y'all social media outlets. Landlord Lou, all y'all guys that got way more subscribers than me, you know something. Every time I post something on Twitter, I post y'all and tag y'all, because y'all outreach is way out there. I'm growing on Twitter. Man, keep going giving me, people keep following me on Twitter. I want people to know we're trying to get to 300 subscribers on my YouTube page. Hey, man, Coach Marv has only been in this game for about 30 days. And I get 300. Hey, man, every 10 days, that means I'm getting 100 people, man. So I'm trying to get to the point where I get monetized and get to that point. The watch hours, man. Hopefully y'all watching, y'all sharing so people can watch it, man. We're getting out there. But this is a very crucial point. I'm going to come with some more topics. But today I had to come with the topic. Is Dak Prescott bought in to the run game? Could he have gotten Nick Chubb here? Did he speak up for them running backs to get here? He got his brother Ezekiel Elliott here to come here not to get the ball at all. Your ace? That's not a bad thing, but I just think he's just been programmed and brainwashed to always put it on himself. And I'm here to tell him, man, it's all right. I understand where you're coming from. But we believe in you. But let's put it on everybody. And if he does that, he's going to have his time to shine. And he's going to be able to do it because he's not going to be feeling overloaded by the pressure of it all time. He's going to be fresh to get it done. Like I said, man, thank y'all so much. Church is in the house. Landlord, common sense, man. Listen, man, a lot of people, common sense, I need to talk to you, man. Give me a holler, man. Church, I appreciate you, my brother. A lot of these other people, man, that's been in here that follow me from Boss Cowboys Sports, man. I was talking about, man, big time shows giving me outlets to talk. Landlord has given me outlets to talk. Even I've talked on church thing, man. But boss is the man, the main man that gave me an opportunity to start this, man. And I want y'all to check him out every day, man. There's no days off from him. You know, Coach Marv is here and there on maybe every other day trying to, but I don't see how these guys work. They put it every day. Lou, he puts in takes, he puts in every day. All these guys put in there. I hope sometime we get JC Cowboy to come in here. I gotta holler at him, man. He's blowing up like crazy, man. His videos, if I can get to be in the video content that young man, him and Lou, will be putting the videos down. If I can get to that part of breaking it down with such preciseness and all they doing is all right. But coach is gonna work with the mental part. I've learned a long time in coaching that coaching is 90% mental. 70% mental. Only 30% is physical. Because after a while, you're going to run into players that's going to have the same type of physical characteristics as you. And when you do that, it's going to come down to who has got the most mental toughness to be able to perform. Michael Irvin talked about that when he talked about training camp. Everything he was talking about was mental toughness, about competing and being able to compete. That was mental toughness. And if you think about it, I always go into my show. If you're in my show, I'm about to end my show, but what people want to know about me, we always talk about when I'm my first show, and go back and watch when I'm talking about building the culture. We talked about the first building blocks of a culture is physicality. The second building block of a culture, and I explained these in that show, but the second building block of a culture is discipline. You got to have these 5 building blocks before you even start building a culture. And that's what you got to start out with that too. You got to start out with the third one is what Michael Irvin was talking about. Mental toughness. And all these that I've just named, we were not that the last 5 years. We wasn't physical. We was undisciplined. And we definitely didn't have mental toughness. And then the next one was coaching / leadership. Schottenheimer is working on the leadership. He's telling us that he said coaching, they're trying to teach their players how to practice because he feels practice is so important. Coaching and leadership is the building block of a culture, of having a culture. And the last one is talent. You got to have talent, and you got to be able to get the best out of the players you got. You're not going to have a first-round draft pick in every position, but you got to be able to develop your players to get them up to another level. And he talked about that as well. And as I said about talent, as I keep telling y'all about talent, coaches cannot make talent. They can only acquire it. Only moms and dads can make a talented player. But coaches have 4 jobs with talent: to motivate it, to refine the talent, to hold the talent accountable, and to put it in the right place for the talent to shine. And hopefully his coaching staff is doing that. And then we could be dedicated to a physical presence to this football team. A physical presence to this football team. We need a physical presence to this offense, and it would translate into our defense as a physical presence. So I'm going to keep saying my shows, and I'm always going to keep going back and rehashing the same thing I talked about over, because it's all a building up to a successful thing. But I'm going to wait no training camp, because that's when you start building your coaching and building your real teeth. I hope this mini camp is going well, but after this mini camp, what mindset our players have after they leave and be away from this team setting is what's going to prove of how hard we work. Because those who sweat more in peace bleed less in war. So when this is over, this mini camp is over, how hard our team work on their playbook, how hard they work on their body and their strength for this last month. Not worried about going out there and saying, I'm trying to get my last parties in. How hard they work as collectively as a team. I ain't say everybody, but collectively a team. And those who sweat more in peace, when things are not going on with the football team, those who sweat more in peace, going to bleed less in war. So thank you again, man. Thank you for all the comments that I've gotten out there, man. I'm still trying to learn this thing, man. I hope y'all like my little intro. Some of y'all came in a little late, so y'all didn't see my little intro. So when y'all get a chance, go back and see, man. Hey, I got some music. I try to put that music with a little billboard to have a little intro. I ain't like some of y'all guys out there, man. But hey, man, I try. I'm getting better because I definitely was not a technical person. But I'm gonna give it to you straight, and I'm gonna give you the mental aspect of what it's gonna take, and the physical aspect, and the technique aspect of what it's gonna take for this team to go. I'm not gonna get in no back and forth arguing with somebody for their philosophy because I understand that most of y'all people in here, y'all all want to win, and we may not agree on everything, but y'all want to win. Now, when I catch some of these imposter Cowboy fans that want something else, I'm gonna call them out. But let's take the pressure off our quarterback. Let's convince our quarterback the run game is important, and it will make this game easier for him. I leave you here, man. Again, I hadn't got monetized yet, and I had some people that have dropped me cash app so I can trying to get another computer, man, because I don't like to be freezing up and all that stuff. My little thing I'm working with here is not really good, and as I keep adding stuff, it's it's getting slower and slower as it goes. But I'm gonna try to because I'm in this game to last. So if you have it in your heart, if that's your thing, hey, and I'm not holding this game, but I know how it is. I've been when I went to the channel and I've been out there with other people, and I made sure I gave them a super chat or whatever because I understand now on this side that it takes a lot to do this thing, man. And it's a thing. So here's my cash app down there, $ PBS 222. If you have a dollar or two, whatever, this and that, man. If you don't, still tune in, share, comment, and subscribe to this, man, because we're gonna talk real Cowboy football. And this Coach Marv, we're gonna talk real talk, and we're gonna get it straight with we're gonna give it straight with no Novocaine. Again, man, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for the comments. And let's just take this message out, man. And let's take the pressure off our quarterback, man. Schottenheimer, we behind you. Just get that message across. It's one of the toughest jobs you get. But this Cowboy Nation is going to help you push that narrative, that message across. This team is going to win and take some of the pressure off Dak Prescott. Lead Michael Parsons and Dak Prescott. Fall in line with what is needed to win this year. Until next time, salute. I'm out.